on my face. I'm not going to lecture you at all. I'm going to share a thought with you. As Bill O'Reilly would have said back in the day, this is a memo. It's a memo. So Musk is allegedly, he's in the crosshairs of Ofcom. Now Ofcom is the regulator, the media regulator here in the UK. And it's fed up, it's pissed off of Musk. Why? Well, for a number of reasons. But most recently, Musk's X, which has an artificial intelligence facility called Grok, is allowing people to generate nude images of anybody without their consent. To prove this today, people have been making generating images of Keir Starmer in a bikini. Yes. Anybody who suffers with premature ejaculation, there's an image to keep at the back of your mind. Right there. When she's moaning and whinging again, not in lust, but in frustration because you just can't hang on. Picture Keir Starmer in a bikini. Game over. I reckon you'd struggle to get started again. But this is a family show, and I must not proceed down this line of filth. So people can put anybody's image in, and Grok will remove that person's clothes. And I agree with those who complain. It doesn't matter that the image isn't real. It's humiliating. It's degrading. It's genuinely bullying and very, very frightening, I would imagine. Apparently, Grok has been generating nude images of the late Princess of Wales. So Ofcom is saying we've made urgent contact with X to find out whether it's complying with our online safety laws. We want answers. In the meantime, Elon Musk has declared that the UK is a fascist state. Yes. Please. Tell us something we don't know. Number one. But pot kettle anybody? What do you mean by that, Richie? Do you mean that you really believe that Musk was doing the Zig Heil at the Republican convention? No, I'm not saying that. When he was sticking his arm out? No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that Twitter is virtually a fascist enterprise. And I'm going to be hammered for saying it. But by the time I'm finished, it'll be the end of the programme, and maybe you won't remember tomorrow. But I'm going to say it anyway. What do I mean by that? Well, Twitter, or X, was set up in a way that political scientists might describe as having fascistic tendencies, like cult of the strongman, contempt for oversight. Well, Musk says, you want to look into Twitter or X, you're a fascist. So that's the contempt for the oversight. And scapegoating institutions. And most importantly, and I've been saying this for years, monopoly over public discourse. Now, Musk didn't start this. The social media networks, in the opinion of this Gombeen man from Waterford in Ireland, these organisations were set up deliberately in a way that they would become effectively, they would replace the town square. They would replace the hustings. They would replace forums where people gathered physically to debate the issues of the day. These organisations were set up to replace all of that and to bring it into the online space, virtually doing it. And at the same time then, people abandoning their own websites, their own online domains, richieallen.co.uk, mickhutchinson.ie, right? geraldsalente.us. So you leave those, your forums, your own domains, and you throw your lot in with your own Twitter account. And this is exactly what has happened the world over. Everybody is on these platforms, and their online experiences are on these platforms nearly all of the time. And it is controlled by one or two people. Musk is one of them. No doubt about it. And why do I say fascistic? Well, one of the central tenets of fascism is the myth of the strong leader. Somebody who is above the rules that the ordinary, great, unwashed people have to obey. Somebody who is above the institutions. And he declares that he needs to be to restore greatness. I'll break the law. I'll do whatever I like. I will behave however I choose. But I'm doing it for you. People love this. At least initially. They loved it in Germany. They loved it in Italy. They loved it in China. Initially. It's great. Things are terrible, right? So it justifies suspending the law for me, absolving me of any oversight, so that I can put it right. That's one of the central tenets of fascism. So we can look at social media and we can apply those principles of fascism or fascistic behaviour to describe what is going on. So Twitter or X, a billionaire buys a global speech platform, and there is much joy because he says, I am a champion of free speech. I'm going to unlock everybody's account, all of you who are wrongly banned during COVID and all the rest of it, because I am here for you. And then he rewrites the rules of Twitter, and then he governs it like his own personal fiefdom. And then he says it all needs saving because the online space is the last bastion of free speech. Anything goes. Like I said, he unblocks millions and millions of accounts. And then he says, a huge and grotesque lie, he says it is a level playing field now. What horse shit. Level playing field. You can grow organically. You will not be molested. Your reach will not be interfered with. Pay me £300 a year. I'll give you a blue tick and you can grow organically. The Richie Allen show last January gave him £300. This show. Now I knew it was £300 I'd never see again. Or the show wouldn't. But I wanted to prove a point. It was a lie. It was a massive lie. We'll come back to that in a moment. And you know this because you have your own Twitter account. Now, a great deal of Twitter accounts over the years were banned for good reason. Don't shout at me. I am a free speech absolutist. Many accounts were not banned for criticising vaccines. Many were not just banned for disobeying lockdowns or complaining about migration. Many were, of course. But many were banned for posting grotesque content on the platform. Sexually and graphically explicit content, violent content, targeting people, serious harassment. There is a Salfordian lass called Lisa who occasionally listens to this programme, and she was relentlessly harassed and stalked by a bloke who would post photographs of her child and say all manner of crazy shit. He deserved to be banned. Go and do that somewhere else. That's not a free speech issue. So there were many who were kicked off for that. Serious harassment, making indecent images of children, paedophiles, I could go on. And today, you can see, if you want to, the most explicit stuff on X. The most explicit. There was a mother speaking on ITV or Channel 4 the other morning. Her 11-year-old child had seen a graphic video of an execution in Saudi Arabia, something that had happened a few years ago. The child was destroyed. I hear you. Mum's fault, parents' fault, child shouldn't be on it, yada yada. We'll have that discussion another time. All that stuff isn't free speech. Now Musk and his legions of bootlickers will tell you it's black and white, it's a binary issue, but it isn't. It's more complex. Everything is. Nothing is A or B. You've also got C, D, E, F, G and H ordinarily. You can differentiate between free speech, which is your right to air your views on social media. God damn it, I pay you 300 quid for membership, dickhead. Surely I have the right to express a political opinion. To air my views. Yes. But there are people who use it to post genuinely harmful content or to incite violence. They need to be dealt with. By dealing with, I don't mean they need to be banged up. If I owned the platform, they would be told to go and join another platform. Sexually explicit stuff that's harmful to children, child porn, targeted harassment, you can fuck off and go somewhere else. Donald Trump has got Truth Social, go and join him over there. I would say. And I think I'm fair. But what we have here is we have private ownership of the public square. Others made it so that these online platforms, as I said earlier, have taken over the public square. And what you have now is private ownership of that. And we include Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram and TikTok here, of course. These few platforms functioning like a global public square, but not democratically and not with any sort of equal opportunity. Because democracy, and we don't live in democratic times. Democracy depends on public accountability, whether you like it or lump it. It does. And platforms like X are central these days, like it or lump it, central to elections, to the flow of information, central to journalism, to debate, even to protest movements. Would you argue with that? I don't think so. Yet, this is controlled by somebody who answers to shareholders. And they are controlled by the owner's ideology and are in no way answerable to the users or to the citizens of the countries where they operate. The public square, run as a private kingdom or fiefdom, is basically the beginning of the road to authoritarianism, whether you like it or not. It is fascistic. Like, if you accept that fascistic systems rely on propaganda and harassment and intimidation, I give you X.com. That is what it is. And historically, fascist movements weren't just political movements. They were mass intimidation campaigns. Right? So platforms that allow targeted harassment or humiliation and sexualised abuse, including making these deepfake nudes of women, they're basically building an environment where the loudest and the angriest and the most amplified voices rule by fear. And now we come to the amplification. Musk says free speech, free speech, free speech. He says he says opportunity for everybody. A fair play system where your own wit, your own ability to generate content will determine whether your profile grows or not. We won't interfere with it, he says. But that's bollocks. And we know this. We know it because it's been called out a million times by a million people, many of them with profiles and reaches far, far greater than mine. Unchecked platform hegemony, as is enjoyed by Musk, is creating a kind of a parallel sovereignty. Do you understand what I mean by that? And I'm rapidly running out of time. And I really want to explore this. If not concluding today, certainly in a programme real soon. Billionaire victimhood. There's another one. They want to be ruler and they want to be martyr. I'm defending free speech. How dare the UK? It is a fascistic state, he says. But he's shaping speech because he's tuning the algorithms of X to reward outrage and conflict and to ban anything that is genuinely different. He's editing mass politics, tilting society towards polarisation, and it's a deliberate agenda. The question isn't whether or not anybody is allowed to speak on X. Everybody can. The question is who is amplified and why, and who is not amplified and why. The algorithm becomes a political control system. And if everything is happening on this handful of social media platforms and public spaces where people appeared physically are gone, when people have given up their own websites, all of that is gone, and all you're left with are these platforms, we're in serious trouble, aren't we? Aren't we? Hence, I leave you where I came in on this little mini rant. X is the fascistic enterprise, the fascistic entity in our society today. I am not in any way absolving the tyrannical, authoritarian policies of the Labour government, of the previous Tory government, of the Trump government. Of course I am not. But right in the midst of all of this is a huge elephant in the room. The social media companies that have managed to appoint themselves as the defenders and the vanguards, really, of free speech, when in fact they are anything but at all. That was Monday's Richie Allen Show. Thank you for listening to it. Appreciate your time. We'll be back tomorrow at the same time, 5 p.m. Bye for now.